Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Without Having Kicked a Ball. And this one is not the usual edition, it's a compilation edition. So coming up there'll be best bits, unseen bits and some bloopers. So the first thing to do is to go back to the beginning, and we started with a Euro 2024 review show. And so here's an excerpt from that show. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the first episode of a brand new football series called Without Having Kicked a Ball. Now usually the premise of the show will be to discuss the 4 football leagues. That's the Premier League, the Championship, League One and League Two. But for this first episode we look back at UEFA Euro 2024, which of course the final was England v Spain, and Spain beat England by 2-1. And we have our panel to give their insights, their thoughts, and to share their point of view. And who's on our panel, you ask? Well, we have Jordan Lee Eartham, aka JLI Wheels, Robbie Broomall, and Sam Taylor. There's only one place to start for this first show, and 2 days after the Euros final, it was announced that after 8 years, Gareth Southgate had decided to step down as England manager. Gareth at first was under-21s manager, but then stepped in initially on a temporary basis after Sam Allardyce was forced to resign. Sam Allardyce of course replaced Roy Hodgson after he resigned when England were knocked out of Euro 2016 by Iceland. So what are your thoughts on the decision for Gareth to resign?
Well, I personally think it's the right decision for him to step down, as I feel like he probably couldn't took that team any further than he could with how many tournaments has he done? 1, 2, 3, 4, is it? 4 tournaments and 1 quarterfinal, 2 semi-finals, 3 semi-finals and 2 finals. I feel like it's been enough for him. I feel like if he did any more for England, he would just I don't think he can cope with the pressure anymore. And I feel that the time is right now to step down, and he could be very proud of himself of how well he's done under the England management, and how well he's done with the team that he's had.
It's a job
I think...
Oh, sorry, George. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I was just going to say, I think I completely agree with everything. I mean, it's one of those, again, where, you know, to be honest, he's been an England manager so long that I don't really remember a lot of the kind of initial opinions when he first came in. But I think a lot of it was, he's the FA's yes man, and, he's going to, it'll be another, disappointment. But you can't argue with how we've done and what we've done, and not only the development of players for England, but also the development of, I think, Europe and the world's opinions on on England as a team, and kind of like, I don't know. I just think that him being manager has transformed the England national team.
So that was from our first edition of Without Having Kicked a Ball, the Euro 2024 review. And so, time now for some brief 2 bloopers. Enjoy.
But well, anything more to add?
Well, I thought it was interesting that Mario Lemina was asked, is Gary O'Neill the problem?
Well,
What the fuck is going on? We're on a completely different game. We're on about Spurs.
Oh God.
I really can't be arsed with this.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the TubeMix football podcast
No,
called
you've
Without
not
Having Kicked a
completely
Ball.
started again, have you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought you were. Right, well, during the first incarnation of Without Having Kicked a Ball, Jordan hosted, Sam hosted, and I hosted. But Ben Carney didn't host. I think he didn't feel confident enough and felt it would be best if, one of us three hosted. But for this rebirth of the show, well, Ben has hosted and he's done an absolutely smashing job. So, here's his first intro for the first show he hosted from episode 7.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Without Having Kicked the Ball. It's that time again where we delve into a football frenzy and dissect the top 4 divisions. Joining me tonight is the man whose channel this will be on, TubeMix. Hello.
Hello there, everyone. Good to be here.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Looking forward and raring to go.
The next culprit is Jordan. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Like you said, lots to dissect.
My team of the year so far is Nottingham Forest. The league's sprung up surprises. Bournemouth are up there, but Nottingham Forest take the trophy for me. Manager of the year, it's quite an obvious one, I think. Nuno. The job is done at Forest. Just they look galvanised. So Nuno, Maresca's a close second, but I think with the money they spent, it's on a different scale to Forest. Player of the season, I think Gravenberch for Liverpool. So far, I think he's been integral to everything good about Liverpool.
Thank you, Ben, for really, because without you, this show would not exist. If Ben hadn't have created Ben's Football Folio, please check it out, his great football blog, then this show really would not be possible. I know you guys give me credit because of recording and putting the whole thing together, but in reality, this show would not have been possible without Ben Carney. So thank you, Ben, and look forward to doing the show with you again, mate, in 2025. So, as I said, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Without Having Kicked the Ball, we'll be back in 2025, and it's going to be a slightly different sort of way of doing it next year. So, as it's a podcast, the audio version is going to go out first on Acast, so that's going to be good, hopefully. And then the video version will be going out on YouTube. It just makes sense because this is a podcast and Acast is the place. Well, a couple of places, but Acast is a place for podcasts. And yeah, it just makes sense. So yeah, that is how it's going to work. And it might not be, it might be that it doesn't have any effect and it doesn't really work, but we'll have to wait and see. So that is how things are going to work. So, before we go, some voice messages from JLR Wheels, aka Jordan Lee Earlham and Sam Taylor. I'm going to leave the last word to them, and they're going to give you their pick of their player of the year so far, manager of the year so far, and club of the year so far. So from me, TubeMix, or Will, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel. And a very Merry Christmas and a very peaceful and safe New Year. And join us next time where we'll be discussing all things from across the football world. and it'll be all without him kick the ball. Goodbye.
For the Premier League, I would say we'll start with player of the season, because I think it's kind of obvious, and this might seem biased as a Chelsea fan. I think he's got to be Cole Palmer. I think he just, like, you watch that guy play and it's just unreal, and the things he can do with the ball and the way that he links up the play, and he just continues to go from strength to strength as the talisman in the Chelsea team. For me, manager of the season so far, I think it has to be Arne Slot. I think coming in to replace Jurgen Klopp was obviously not an easy task, and I think he's done it really, really well. I think it's the subtle tweaks to the system, it's the in-game the in-game tactical stuff that he does that's so brilliant. So Arne Slot as the manager of the season so far. The team of the season overall, I think, is probably going to be Bournemouth. And there are some really strong candidates. Obviously, Forest and Nuno are doing incredible things. But I just feel like Bournemouth are the one for me. Andoni Iraola has been a genuinely fantastic signing. I think what is good about Bournemouth, similar to a lot of teams that are kind of slowly doing really good jobs, i.e. a Forest, i.e. a Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, etc. They're keeping the same core of players and building on it. And I just, in terms of style, outside of the top six, I genuinely, the usual top six, because I think they're fifth at the moment. I just think they play some really attractive football. So yeah, for the Premier League, that is my manager, player and team so far. As the resident EFL expert, though, of course, we're going to talk about the EFL. Okay, first up is the Championship. I'm going to start with the manager. And I'm going to talk about Regis Labrie, who is the Sunderland manager. A complete unknown. A bit of a risk as well, considering that he's got a relegation on his CV from his last job. Has come in and has, I feel like, exemplified exactly what modern Sunderland are all about. Young players, good football, and they're in a decent position. Although they absolutely flew out the blocks, they're still in a playoff place with a relatively young team, and I think that is a huge achievement. For team of the season so far, again, quite a few strong candidates. I am going to go for Blackburn. John Eustace didn't exactly pull up trees when he was appointed, but we know from his time at Birmingham just how good of a manager he is. A load of good attacking options, the likes of Maktar Gay, Ohashi, and Weinman. They've been a real surprise package so far, Blackburn, and that's why they are my team of the season in the Championship so far. For the player of the season, I'm going to go for James Trafford at Burnley. Burnley, of course, have the best defence in the EFL, and one of those things, and one of the contributing factors to that is they have a Premier League level goalkeeper in goal for them. He is fantastic, still young, definitely got a future internationally and at the very top of the game, in my opinion. So yes, it is, of course, Burnley's number one, James Trafford. For League One, it is a team and manager of the season so far. Double for Wycombe Wanderers and their manager, Matt Bloomfield. Just, for me, the job of the season being done by anybody in the EFL and the English football leagues right now. A really, really strong team with great options, a great mix of players, some older players, Gareth McCleary, etc. Just doing an unbelievable job, and I don't think anybody would have seen it coming. I think Wickham last season finished sort of mid-table, and the expectations were, well, I think, for a little bit of a struggle. I don't feel like the pundits were necessarily very, very high on them, and they've done a fantastic job, and that's due to the team spirit, which has sort of carried over from the Ainsworth era, but of course, somebody that played under Ainsworth was Matt Bloomfield, and he has been fantastic, and I really hope that he stays with them and gets the job done, because I can imagine there'd be lots of championship teams looking at him. For the player of the season, it's a little bit of an obvious one. It's Louis Barry from Stockport. Just a championship to maybe even Premier League level player playing in League One. Really, really unbelievable. Can score any type of goal, but usually they're always screamers. So that is my selection for League One. For League Two, we're going to start with the manager, and to be honest, it was a really difficult toss-up, because between head and heart, really, between Walsall's Matt Sadler and Crewe's Lee Bell. I'm going to have to go in my heart, because I just feel like the job that Lee Bell has done since he's come to the Alex, to replace a manager that was so obviously, we had Alex Morris before, after David Artell, but for the most part he's replacing David Artell, and that's not an easy feat. Artell did a similar job with a better crop of players, may I add. So for Lee Bell to do what he has done at the Alex so far has been truly, truly remarkable. Young players, hungry, fight for the shirt, and a great mix of experience thrown in there as well. The likes of Omar Bogle and Mickey Demetriou, who is unreal, and that is why he, for me, gets player of the season so far as well. I was looking at some stats for the fantasy EFL that it has been created this season by the Football League, and the top two are Norwich's Borgia Sainz, as in picked by like ratings as an average points, or however fantasy football is Borgia Sainz, but obviously I didn't pick him as my championship player, but there we go. And also Mickey Demetriou. Mickey Demetriou is 34 years old, and I genuinely think there's still room for him to go and play at a higher level. I think if it is that Crewe get promoted this season, I think that Mickey Demetriou still has a place to be the rock at the back that he is for us. Now, that being said, Crewe are not my selection for team of the season. I still think there is one team that stands out way above the rest, and I've already kind of mentioned them, and that's Walsall. Again, Matt Sadler and Walsall finished kind of mid-table, lower down. Not much expected from them. They've absolutely blown everybody out of the water the way that they've done things. They've got they've got the top scorer in the league, Stoke Loney Nathan Lowe. Guys like Jamie Jellis, Ryan Barnett. Just an unreal team again. Just continues to kind of defy expectation, and that's the thing in League Two. That's the thing that you look for. That's the thing that you should look for in the EFL and the Premier League when you're trying to name your players and your teams, is who's doing a job that nobody expected. And I think, like we talked about, Matt Bloomfield, completely out of nowhere Wickham job, and as in how well they're doing, and the same with Walsall. And I think we're talking about Crewe, and they were beaten playoff finalists, but I think a lot of people felt like we were going to struggle again this season, and we haven't, and that's what I've tried to look for. So that is my selections for the Premier League and the rest of the EFL. Bit of something different there, as I imagine the boys are only going to be talking about the Prem. But I couldn't not mention the EFL, given my my relationship and my love for it. So yeah, I hope that does the job.
My team of the year is Atalanta, who, under their manager Piero Gasparini, have won their first European trophy, winning the Europa League and beating Bayer Leverkusen in the final. He has taken a smaller top-flight Italian side and turned them into European giants. So they are my team of the year. Very well deserved. As for my manager of the year, and for me there's only one standout candidate, and that is Xavi Alonso, who guided Bayer Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title, along with the German Cup as well, and was terrific throughout the year and has created a side to be reckoned with beyond the usual suspects. So, on to my player of the year. And I've been thinking about this, and some of you might think, oh, he's being a bit biased here. But my player of the year is Cruz Ryan Cooney. He is a right back, and he's been very subpar since he joined a couple of years ago. But this season he's been scoring goals and creating goals from full back. So Ryan Cooney is my player of the year.